Welcome back to another Meta Monday. Today we're looking at Mega Sharpedo from the brand new Phantasmal Flames set, and in this video I'm going to show you why I think this deck has a real shot at being a legit meta contender. Now the list that I'm using today finished 15th place at a recent City League, and here's what it looks like. But let's break down the core cards before we get into the matches. So starting off, we have Mega Sharpedo himself. This is our main attacker, and this card is way better than people think, especially with the combos that we use. Its first attack does 70 damage and draws us 2 cards, giving us great early pressure and adding more consistency to the deck as well. But the second attack is what the entire deck is revolved around. It does 120 damage normally, but if Sharpedo has any damage on it, it jumps up to 270 damage. This is our main win condition and how we delete big threats to take multiple prizes. Now to go along with this, we have Toxtricity. This is how we both accelerate energy and self-damage the Sharpedo at the same time. Its ability lets you attach a dark energy from your deck to a bench dark Pokemon, which solves both the setup and activation requirements for Mega Sharpedo's big attack. Now we also have Munkidori in here because Munkidori helps us push our damage number even higher while keeping the damage on Sharpedo as low as possible, letting us hit the magic numbers without overextending at the same time. Now, and as for tech cards, we are running quite a few techs in this deck, so let's go over the key ones first. So first you have Gravity Mountain. A great tool against decks like Charizard and Dragapult. It reduces stage 2 HP by 30, which opens up clean one-shots in matchups that usually require setup or extra damage for us. Now, Battle Cage is a new stadium that we're running one of as well. This stadium protects your bench Pokemon from chip damage from things like Munkidori and Dragapult, but just keep in mind though, it doesn't protect the active, so damage can still be moved there. We are also trying Punk Helmet. This is a fun one-of. If your active dark Pokemon takes damage from an attack, the attacking Pokemon takes 4 damage counters for doing that damage. It's a cool idea, but after enough testing, it didn't really come up enough to be a staple card in the deck, so feel free to change it out for something else. We are also running Maximum Belt in here. It's a strong searchable damage boost that helps you handle bulkier Pokemon, especially with so many Kangaskhan's and all of these Megas running around right now. If you're running into a lot of Goldango though, I highly recommend swapping this for Hero's Cape. It helps you survive longer in that matchup, allowing you to actually have a very good chance of winning that match. If you want to try this list yourself, it's linked down below in the description. Now let's get into the games. Alright, so game number 1 is against the new Mega Absol deck that's using the Toxtricity instead of just relying on Turbo Energize. So this is going to be a very good matchup here. They do have the Bravery Charm, they do get down the Squawkabilly. You're seeing that they are doing a first turn variant where they're just trying to churn through their deck as fast as possible. Here they got rid of double boss, so we know that they only have maybe 1 or 2 left in the deck at this point. Now, and for our turn, we actually have a crazy good hand here. So we were able to top deck into the Carvanha, and then with this Buddy-Buddy Poffin, we will be getting double Toxel down, and then we're probably going to use this Arven here, though if we keep it in our hand, it's most likely going to get taken by the Mega Absol next turn if they have a Toxtricity and a energy to attach. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to use the Arven now. We are going to look and see what we want to grab. We can just grab a Nest Ball here, or grab the Max Signal just in case they aren't able to get the attack off or they want to decide on taking the boss's orders instead next turn. Now in here we are going to put the Toxel up into the active, and for a second there I do debate about putting down the tool. In hindsight, I do think that putting down that helmet on the Toxel was the right choice, but I decided not to because I kind of want to save it as something to use later on in case we need it. Now in here for our opponent's turn, they do have the Ultra Ball, so they will be able to get a Toxtricity down. They do it into the active one, so that way then they most likely have a Air Balloon to be able to attach to it and be able to move. So here they are going to judge us first and give us a brand new hand. So here we do have a Nest Ball plus the Mega Signal and a Air Balloon plus a Dark Energy. So our hand isn't terrible right now. They are able to take a knockout on that Toxel, and they will be taking the Mega Signal along with it to stop us from getting to our Mega Sharpedo. Here we will be promoting the Toxel real quick, and then we top deck into the Battle Cage. Now then, Battle Cage isn't really going to be helping us right now. It's not really stopping our opponent either. So first we will be doing that Fez, and then from here we are going to use the Nest Ball. I'm just going to get another Toxel most likely. I'm thinking about the Munkidori at this point because I could get that down as well. So it's a tough decision on which one of those I wanted to do in this moment, but I do end up deciding on the Toxel. Now in here with this Ultra Ball, we are going to get rid of the Buddy-Buddy Poffin plus the Battle Cage because we don't really need those anymore, and it's a tough decision between Mega Sharpedo or Toxtricity. Now I'm going to choose Mega Sharpedo here because they're not going to be able to one-shot it. They could two-shot it, and we do have a Dark Energy that we're able to attach, and then we're just going to pass. Now, at this point, I do have a plan cooking. So the game plan, or what I'm thinking the game plan is going to be, is I'm going to be swinging with this Mega Sharpedo next turn, most likely, after I load it up with a Toxtricity real quick so it gets a little bit of damage, hitting for the 270. If I can get a Munkidori down as well, there is chance that we can one-shot this Mega Absol because it will be able to do enough damage with that poison that's on it. Now, and the other thing that I'm thinking of is just doing a lot of damage with the Sharpedo first, and then being able to set up a knockout using Munkidori damage later, and then being able to do a ton of damage to the other Mega Absol, or just knocking out something else in the process. Now, in here, our opponent took out our Carvanha using a boss, which means that they didn't put any damage on our Mega Sharpedo. So we're actually just going to use that Nest Ball, get down the Munkidori, then use the Lilies that we drew for turn to be able to draw 8 cards because we still haven't taken a prize, and then use Fez to draw 3 more. That way then we find our Toxtricity, we are able to get everything powered up, put a Dark Energy on the Munkidori as well, then promote the Mega Sharpedo to the active, use Munkidori to move a single damage counter, which is very important here. You have to have at least 1 damage counter on your Mega Sharpedo at all time. Do not take all of the damage counters off. This way we are doing a ton of damage, setting up to be able to take a knockout on this Mega Absol next turn using our Munkidori damage. Now, and they are going to be able to do a lot of damage to our Sharpedo after they do this Iono, and we will have to set up a way of winning from there. But we still have another Toxel plus a Toxtricity, and we have top decked into another Toxtricity from that Iono as well. That means that we can actually change our game plan to where we know that we're going to be able to take a knockout on this Absol next turn using the Munkidori damage, and then we can just do a ton of damage to the other Absol and then take a knockout using the Toxtricity to be able to finish the game. Now in here we top deck into another Mega Sharpedo, which doesn't really matter. We also have that helmet again, so that is something that I could put down as well. We also still have the Pecharunt too, so we don't even need to use the Toxtricity to take the knockout. We have 3 different answers on our board at this point. So here I'm taking a second to just think through my plays. I do have this Dark Energy, and I know that I'm going to have to manually attach at some point as well. Now, first, I am going to put down that Toxtricity. This is going to power up one of the Toxtricities right now, and I'm actually going to pivot one more time and try to keep our Sharpedo safe because they had promoted that Toxel. So instead, we're just going to attack with the Toxtricity here because it does exactly 100 damage, and I'm going to put that helmet on it as well. That way then if they do take a knockout on it using the Mega Absol, we're going to be able to do a little bit extra damage and have a higher chance of being able to one-shot this Mega Absol next turn. Now, and it was really good that they gave us the Toxel because that means that now if we do knock out this Mega Absol, we will be able to take the final 2 prizes for game because they are playing Legacy Energy as their ace spec and they have it on that Absol. Now, and they find their last boss here and they are able to boss up our Mega Sharpedo, meaning that they will be taking 3 prizes. Now, and the only way that they can stop me from winning the game is if they were to figure out that I'm low on energy now and they were to take that Dark Energy, but instead they take the Lillie's Determination. So here we are going to promote this Toxtricity that already has energy on it. We do top deck a Maximum Belt, which is nice. It is just the little extra comfort, but we know that we have enough damage with this Pecharunt because they're down to a single prize card remaining that it doesn't really matter. Now, we are going to Stadium Bump as well, just to lower down the HP of the Mega Absol, move some damage over, and ultimately our opponent concedes. Alright, so for game number 2, we're actually going against our worst matchup, which is the Gholdengo matchup. I wanted to make sure to show this because I want you to see just how rough this matchup is, but also try to show you guys what the general line is that you're trying to do to win the game. Now in here, we start with the Munkidori. They got off to a very great start with a Buddy-Buddy Poffin plus the Genesect, and we're just going to immediately Lillie our hand. We do find double Toxel plus a Buddy-Buddy Poffin, which is going to get us into the Carvanhas. Now in here, we are going to free retreat, and I have to make a decision on which one do I go into. I am ultimately going to give up a Carvanha because I have a couple more of those left in the deck, so I don't really need to worry too much about those. As long as I can get into a single Sharpedo, that's all that really matters at this point. Now in here, they do get into the Gholdengo because they have the Genesect to be able to make sure that they got those stage 1s, and then they get into a second Gholdengo. Now they're going to draw 2 cards first and then attach a Metal Energy, and here we see that they're not playing the Lunatone and Solrock engine, they're playing the old school with the A-Spec that searches all of their energy. Which this is actually making it a lot harder for us because they can easily search out all that energy, and they're generally running a more consistent way of getting all of that energy back. Now in here, we do top deck into an Arven, so I really have to think through my hand at this point. We have an Ultra Ball, and then with this Arven, we actually could find the Mega Signal and be able to get into a Sharpedo still. Now, and what I'm going to do is I am going to Ultra Ball away this Maximum Belt and the Dark Energy in my hand to be able to get the Toxtricity. I know that I'm going to be using this Arven this turn, and the reason why I get rid of the Maximum Belt is because I really want to hold on to this Iono for the following turn. Now in here, we do get that Mega Signal plus a Air Balloon that we could just throw down onto the Toxtricity. We are going to just play down this Mega Sharpedo real quick and then retreat. And it doesn't really matter if we Munkidori right now, but we are still going to keep it at just 10 HP, having been dealt to it, and then take the knockout. So one of the good things that's going in this matchup for us is that our main attacker, the Mega Sharpedo, can just one-shot Gholdengos. We do 270 damage, which is perfect. The other thing that's going for us is the fact that we are such a high HP Pokemon, so they do have to discard 7 energy at once in order to take a one-shot knockout. But seeing as they're playing the A-Spec version that's not running the Lunatone and Solrock, it's fairly easy for them to do it, and that's what's making this matchup so hard for us. And that's the reason why I was saying, and if you're playing against a lot of Gholdengo, make sure that you swap out your Maximum Belt for a Hero's Cape instead. It really will make a difference because that's 2 extra energy that your opponent has to discard. So they would literally have to find all of their energy in order to take the knockout. Now in here, they are just going to attach that energy and do the Make It Rain, and then we find out, do they have enough energy in hand for the knockout? And they do, so they do take that knockout, taking 3 prizes in the process. So now we are going to promote the Munkidori, and we have to find a way to get into another Mega Sharpedo. Now, I was just checking how many energy are in the discard now, just seeing exactly what all they use. So here we are just going to go into the Toxel. We will fire off this Iono, putting them down to just 2 cards left in hand, but because they still have a Gholdengo and a Gimmighoul in the back, they will be able to draw at least 3 extra cards next turn. Now in here with this Call for Family, I'm just looking to see exactly what's in there. I don't want to grab a 2-prizer right now because if they do have a boss, then they can boss that up and they have a high chance of being able to take the knockout. So I am just going to grab another Munkidori and a Toxel just to be able to thin my deck out a little bit. Now in here, our opponent is able to start drawing some cards, going through their deck. They do get down another Gholdengo as well, and they do still have this Stadium in play, but I do have the Battle Cage in my hand that I can use to be able to stop them from getting some more energy back from the discard. Here, they do take a knockout on this Toxel, which is going to put them down to just a single prize remaining. They do discard a Lightning Energy, notably from there, and we were hoping to be able to top deck into a Iono, so we are just going to take that Nest Ball that we top deck. First, we are just going to draw 3 with it. We still don't find the Iono, and here we are just going to use the Toxtricity. We will be going into the Mega Sharpedo, hoping that they just don't find a boss, plus enough energy to still be able to take a knockout on a single prizer, and that is kind of our only way of winning it at this point. Now in here, we will Stadium Bump first before we retreat into the Mega Sharpedo. We will have to attach this energy. For a second there, I got ahead of myself. I almost clicked dealing just 70 damage. Now, we need a ton going for us right now. We need them to basically be very bricked. They need to not find a boss and not find a superior energy retrieval together, or they need to not find double superior energy retrieval. But they do get to draw 5 cards, 2 from the Goldango, 3 from the Fez. Here's 1 superior energy retrieval, so they're able to get 4 energy back. And then they do have a regular energy retrieval to get 2 more back. I'm hoping that I'm safe, but ultimately they have 7 energy in their hand, and they had just enough to be able to take that knockout for game. So here are my final thoughts on Mega Sharpedo right now. I think this deck lands solidly in tier 2. Your toughest matchup by far is Goldango, but being a dark deck right now with a high HP attacker means that you naturally line up well into the current best deck, which is Gardevoir right now. So that's going for you. Now, Sharpedo does hit very hard, it sets up consistently, and has real potential if the meta shifts even slightly in our favor. Now, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. I post new Pokemon TCG content every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.